All right. So I'm going to try to keep the language clean today because I want this to be a show that's reviewed by believers and non-believers in the future. So I would like everybody just to pay attention. I do have my brother from Long Island who's going to come and try to prove that he's an Israelite and the African Americans are in a few. But the Lemba tribe not being Israelites or Jews is very important. My brother Bereem is trying to encourage dialogue. Oh, man. Wow, that's bad news. All right. So now, I see Jeremiah Judah texting me. And why be faking? You see, I already explained why I put your name in the title, bro. Oh, my God. Jeremiah, I don't want nothing to do with you, to be honest, bro. Just do you and forget about it. All right? All right. Okay. Let me, oh, man. For them to pay us, and then this would be the best time to go up trying to delete that account. Oh, man. Hold on a second, family. This is very important right here. And I told people, man, hold on there 1 second, family. It's something that has to do with credit repair that ain't got nothing to do with y'all. So I don't even need to talk about it. But hey, oh, man, this is huge right here. This is huge, 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 huge. I keep telling folks, man, they don't want to listen to Garfield. But all right. So here we go. Here we go. First and foremost, if you are a subscriber to the channel and continue to support, please pay attention. I've talked about the Yah names and the slave voyages before, but I need to do a show that's clear and concise. All right. The first thing I want to talk about is the Lemba tribe. If everybody's familiar with the Lemba tribe, they came out and said they were Jews one time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to an article, right? The Lemba Revisited. And the reason why you got to look up for Lemba Revisited, because you have to understand why they now say they're not Jews or Israelites. I want to ask a question to everybody in the audience. Answer me now. Who said the Lemba were Israelites? Who made that claim? Who made the claim that the Lemba were Israelites? Who made that claim? Anybody in the audience want to partake? Who made the claim that the Lemba were Israelites or Jews or whatever? The brother with the name Richard Katz, he put Dante Fordson. Not a coincidence, said a white man's. All right. And we will get Joyce in the second week. I'm going to choose one of them. All right. Beautiful. All right. So now I would like to say that I heard this from Tudor Parfit. Tudor Parfit was the first one to come out and say the Lemba have a possible oral tradition. He actually found them. Tudor Parfit. He's supposed to be one of the gentlemen that comes on in February. We didn't confirm a date yet, but he told me to pick 3 dates. I'm waiting back for him to respond. All right. So now that's who said it, Tudor Parfit. We're not going to look at color and say black or white or whatever. We're not going to do any of that. I'm not doing any of that today, because what I want to do is I want to break down what the scientists say. I don't care about what a YouTuber say. If the expert is saying something and you got the information from the experts, why do you disagree with the experts? So bring the experts that supersede the experts that actually did the work and went into the lab, Michael Hammer and so forth, and Sayowell. Those are the people that review the DNA for the Lemba. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not here to play games today. A lot of people are going to be mad. They're going to want to come on the panel. That's fine. That is all fine and dandy. right? You want to come on a panel and you want to discuss this publicly in a forum. That's fine. I have no problem with that. But again, if you don't have the science, and I repeat, if you don't have the academic journals, if you don't have the science, do not come on my panel with your personal feelings. Personal feelings cannot help you right now. It can't help you. I'm asking everybody to share the show and give the show as much light as possible. I'm not able to share a lot on Facebook because, they're always messing with me. So I want to say to everybody who's watching, we are using the Lemba, or I should say we are misusing the data for the Lemba. And then go into GEDmatch and say, oh, GEDmatch said we Lemba. It doesn't matter what GEDmatch says. The issue is, are you an Israelite? That's the issue. And then from there, we can go from there. All right? All right. Let's look at this now. So now, ladies and gentlemen, let me start off the show by sharing my screen. So I Google the Lemba Revisited. And this is deep. This is really deep because you have PubMed, the NIH.gov, Lemba Origins Revisited, right? Then you have the ResearchGate article. You have the Wikipedia article that uses these articles as sources. You have the South African Medical Journal, if you want to go the black route. You don't want to listen to the white folks. You have all type of journals from Africa that talks about it. But what I want to do is I want to go to this website that's called Bulawayo 24 News. And the reason why I'm going to it, because it basically summarizes what the scientific article says. This article is from 2014. Now look at this. Much attention has been given. Let me look at my screen and see if it's clear so that people could read this for themselves. I want you to read it while I'm reading it. I'm not covering up anything. So when the brother Yahchanan and the anonymous Hebrew and Orthodox Moor and all these guys, whoever is using this GEDmatch and Lemba, I'm like, what are they talking about? This is stuff that I've dealt with for years. Now look at this, family. Look at this. Much attention has been given to the origins of the Lemba people since the year 2000, when a Y chromosome study by Neil Bradman and Mark Thomas of University of College of London yielded results that indicated that the Lemba have Jewish ancestry, and in particular, a high incidence of the Cohen modal haplotype, a haplotype shared by many Jews of priestly descent through the diaspora. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if you know anything about the University of College of London, you know about what's the name of that guy that Zion Lex likes to use? The one that blocked me on Facebook, who claims that the genealogy or the timeline for Egypt is off, and that Ramesses should be in the time of David and all this craziness. He's from the University of College of London. All the guys that push a racist program, L.A. Waddell, that's that program, University of College of London. The gentleman that was cool with the evolution guy, who the sister talked about. Let me see. What's his name? Charles Darwin. His cousin, I think, the one that gave the Egyptologists from the 1900s. I forgot his name. The one that said that they were from Syria. The Egyptians were from Syria, North Syria, and all that stuff, right? They were funded by people from the University of College of London. So this university has been known to be a racist university over the years. But yet still, we heard in 2000, a matter of fact, in 1999, that the Lemba had Jewish ancestry. Let's not play the game, the childish game. Oh, we're not Jewish. The reason why they say Jewish family is because it's a short for Judean, Jew. It ain't got nothing to do with that they wish they were Jews. Get the pseudo-ness out of here. Now watch this. Genetic science has come a long way since then. And in the most recent study by Dr. H. Sudyal, a geneticist from the Department of Health Sciences Division of Human Genetics in the University of Witwatersrand, using high resolution and more genetic markers, the following results were found. All right. You could read that for yourself. All right. The extended modal haplotype was recently revealed by a team of geneticists led by Dr. Michael Hammer of the University of Arizona, and it was this that Sudyal looked for among the Lemba and Remba in the 2013 study. Secondly, when other combined haplogroups among the South African Lemba and Zimbabwean Remba samples were analyzed at extended level, they were also found not to match with Jewish haplogroups. 3 extracts from the conclusion of the study are as follows. I want to say this to everybody. This is the latest study, which was 7 years ago. University of Arizona, Michael Hammer, Sudyal. This is who y'all need to go argue with. Now, when they say you have Lemba DNA, it don't much necessarily mean the people from the Remba tribe who carry the J marker. This is the conclusion of the study. While it was not possible to trace unequivocally the origins of the non-African Y chromosomes of the Lemba and the Remba, this study does not support the earlier claims of their Jewish genetic heritage. Now, they came and said that originally, they meaning scientists, that they were connected to Jews. That is true. All right. Now, I am saying this to say this to the people. I don't want you to come on my panel and say the Lemba is Jews because they did this practice and that. We are talking about DNA today. That's all we talking about. What does the science say? So they have 3 extracts. They say it don't support the earlier claims of their Jewish genetic heritage. Overall, this study has shown that Y chromosomes typically linked with Jewish ancestry were not present in the Lemba. It seems likely that the Arab traders...
I want green juice.
Okay, all right. Go talk to Jalen. And you're interrupting my show. You're interrupting my show right now. All right. It seems likely... Go to Jalen. Come on, man. You're asking me? Why are you annoying me right now? Come say hello to the people. Since you're being annoying, come say hello to the people. Come say hello to the people. Say hello, people. Since you want to break a very important part, say hello to the people.
No, it was a bad day.
It was a bad day? I want you to read something for me. Can you read this that's on the screen?
No.
Can you read this? What's this? What it says? Overall, this study has shown that Y chromosomes typically linked with Jewish ancestry were not present in the Lemba. Can you read that for me? It seems likely that the Arab traders, who are known to have established long-distance trade networks involving some thousands of kilometers along the western rim of the Indian Ocean, from Safala in the south to the Red Sea in the north, and beyond to the Hadramaut, India, and even China from 900 AD, are more likely linked with the ancestry of the non-African founding males of the Lemba and the Remba. It is of interest to note that most of the Lemba tribal names are recognizable Arabic. Did they even tell you that when they're talking all this stuff? Did they tell you that? And variations of them are still found in Yemen today. Did they ever tell you that when they're talking about the Lemba? It's just that they heard a story. Yo, you know, the Lemba are Jews. And they just ran with it because they're trying to fight and get this identity. Trying to fake the funk. Just like with the Richard Katz situation. However, the question of identity is a complex one, and it is unwise to rely on it as a sole source of evidence. However, DNA is a neutral way of unfolding the missing pages of history, as long as it is interpreted in a scholarly way without bias. Also, it is likely that the last word has not been said on the genetics of the Lemba or anyone else's for that matter. Those Lemba who identify as Jews will have other reasons apart from genetic evidence to do so. This article merely hopes to guard against irresponsible and often incorrect quotations about outdated scientific studies and to keep us up to date with what is known about Lemba genetics according to our current state of knowledge. Wow. That's all. That's all, family. I'm not here to act like I know more than the scientists. I'm supporting what the scientists say. That's all I'm doing. I'm not doing nothing crazy. I'm not doing nothing that somebody could say, oh man, that Garfield, man, I don't know about that dude. Listen, family, all I'm trying to do, and I'm going to repeat, is bring information that the family, us, the family can use to better learn, to grow from. So you know, we took the pews away, right? They said, oh, but the pews don't make us not Jews or Hebrews or Israelites. Nobody said that was the defining factor. Now you want to change the goalposts. Listen, the Lemba are not Jews. They're not Hebrews. They are not Israelites. They are none of that. They are absolutely none of that. And that's based off the latest genetic information from 7 years ago, not from 2000, which is 20 years ago. Genetics has improved so much the last 20 years. I can't say the same results from 20 years ago is the same today. Is that fear? That's not fear, family. That would be ridiculous. Now, let's go to evidence number 2. This is the Lemba talking about their culture, right? Y'all didn't know I had this documentary, didn't y'all? Look at this. Now look at this, family. This is an elder. This is an elder. Look at what he writes. It is not surprising that we had to have our children circumcised, since it is written in the Bible. Look at this now. Now, it's a Lemba practice from 1907. Now, these people who are claiming that the Lemba are Jews, ask them, how comes circumcision is a practice from 1907? 1907! This is what the elder in the community is saying. And if you look at all these Lemba pictures of all these people with the hat on top of their head saying they're Jewish, they don't even have beards. They don't even have beards. So you saying the Lemba are Jews based off a study from 20 years ago. I'm basing that they're not Jews based on the last study of their genetics 7 years ago. What are we doing? What are we doing? Garfield didn't make this up. This is an elder, the Lemba Jews Sweetwater's reunion. This is not Garfield making it up. I'm telling you what they say. I didn't say that. They said that. Oh, man. All right. Akili, that's not the point. The point, my brother, is that somebody from the tribe, an elder, is saying that circumcision, they just started doing it in 1907. This is somebody from the tribe. Don't you get the point? Get the point in your head. What are you saying? Oh, Bantus were doing. Who cares if Bantus were doing anything? We're not talking about Bantus. This is another thing too. People want to talk about what they want to talk about. We're talking about the Lemba tribe. That's what I'm talking about. What does the science says? What does the science say? Terrell Peoples, you funny as hell. Yeah, man. But I just wanted to let the family know that the Lemba people are not Jews. Are not Jews. They're not. All right. Hold on 1 second. Let me just send this person a picture real quick. Hold on 1 second, family. Let me do this. Yeah. But I do want to say to everybody, man, the Lemba, if you have a question right now and you're in the audience, send me a question right now. Send me a question right now if you're in the audience. You got a question about the Lemba? Is Garfield wrong? Am I wrong for coming from this angle? Correct me. Correct me if I'm wrong. Show me I'm wrong. The issue that I have, there's a brother named Dante. There's a sister E. There's all these people. The Lemba tribe were called Jews originally because of the J marker. That's why they call them Jews. That's why. All right. Credit. Karma. All right. Now, is there a question out there? Because I need to straighten this out. If you're an Israelite, you don't have to argue with people. That's who you are. Man. People didn't even notice that in the documentary that I played with the pews, the black guy named Cohen said his five generations before him came over. They were Russian Jews. They were white. But how is it that he's black? How come nobody never said, oh, look, there's a black Jew right there, Garfield? They didn't even pick up on that in the documentary when I showed it. And his name is Cohen. Which black man name is Cohen? That means he came over and they had sex till it ended up to where he was. Nobody know that. All right. Okay. So are we good with the Lemba tribe? Is there anything else you guys want to talk about with the Lemba? Shoot me a question. Next 5 minutes. Let's go. Let's go. Lemba tribe. Or is the Lemba tribe out of here? Or we need to bring them back in? Bring back the Lemba tribe. They are not Jewish. They're not Hebrew. They're not Israelites. Let's go. Do the Lemba speak Hebrew? Not that I know of. But it's funny that the part that says that some of their names can be traced back to Arabic. All right. So right now, the way how it looks, Cohen was a lie. He tested himself and based the rest of the populations on himself. KOJ, who are you talking about? What are you talking about? Which Cohen? Cohen who? Oh, man. All right. So anyway, let's move on. So Lemba, you out of here. All right. So now let's go to let me do this real quickly here. All right, let me take care of this. All right, let's go right here. Hold on a second here. I'm recording a video. All right, so real report. Here we go. Ross and Gibson. Let's look at this right here. Let's look at this. All right. That's the credit card. All right. Okay. All right. All right. So I'm doing business at the same time. All right. Yeah, it went back to Arabic. You see, what happened is the Jewish guy that tested the lemma said they had the J marker. What are you talking about now? So you have work, you work in a lab, KOJ? The Jewish guy that tested the lemba and said that they had the J marker. Hold on, let me see. I don't understand your point. Do you want to come on the panel, my brother, and explain what your point is so I could close out this whole lemba thing, because you're very confusing in the chat. Come on, because I want to go through this real quickly. KOJ, jump on. And JJ, please stop texting me and saying I'm running from you or I don't stand on anything. I stand on a lot. If you knew Garfield, you would know how much I stand on a lot. But because you don't know the person you want to debate, you just see somebody online you disagree with, but then you want to tell us to become Hebrews. How has Hebrew made you safer? This is my challenge to everybody. How is being a Hebrew making you safer than, say, Kyle walking in Georgia? How is it making it safer for you? All right, let me see if I could get my brother. Okay, peace and love, bro. What was the point that you were trying to make? Peace, peace, peace. Hello? Peace.
Oh,
peace.
damn, I'm on mute. Peace and blessings, Garfield.
All right, what was the point that you were trying to make, my brother?
Oh, no, basically what I was just saying was that, like, basically from my understanding of
I don't want your understanding. I want what the evidence, what the report says.
Okay, I'm gonna have to. That's what I'm actually looking for right now.
All right, but pretty much you're saying that the guy who tested them first is the one that's claiming that they had the J marker. Am I correct?
Right. Well, basically what he did was he tested himself, and then he tested the other Jewish population where in his general area where he lived, which are also other white people. And he came up with this Y chromosomal Y chromosomal Aaron, right?
Hold on a second. That's not what we're talking about. That's not what we're talking about. You're going into a whole nother category. The issue with the J marker is this. There are people all over the world that claim that they're Jewish, that can be traced back to the Middle East. They have the Middle East markers that goes back over 20,000 years in the Middle East. If you don't want to be a part of the whole J marker thing, if you want to have a debate about that or discussion, that's not this discussion right now. The people who majority of the people that are Jewish in the world, people that trace back to the people that went to Babylon, that had their own communities, the people that lived outside. I mean, you had Jewish people living in Rome from the 2nd century BC. All of those communities are the communities that have this marker. They have other markers too. But for us to say, oh, this guy just tested himself and then he tested, no, that's not how it happened. That's not how it happened. The true story is it has to do with the communities that live across the entire world. And what they do is, even Ashkenazi Jews, who you call white Jews, because a Jew could be any color. I could show you over thousands of pictures from the 4th century, 2nd century, where the Jews are portrayed as light skinned. And even in Edith Bruder's book, The Jews of West Africa, she points out how one of the first Jews that went to was considered the first white man in that region. All right. All right. Let's do this. So I'm not here to argue that. I'm talking about what they did. How did they determine the Lemba were Jews?
Most definitely. Yeah, because I mean, like, I don't really have too much input, but I've been listening. And just to give you a reference to another Israelite is Dr. Yehoshua ben Ephraim.
I'm very familiar with him. He's not an expert in this field. He's definitely somebody who's pushing that the E1B1A is the Hebrew Israelite. But the truth of the matter is, and he's I like that gentleman. If he knew that the EM2 marker we have was mutated in West Africa and it never left West Africa, so there's no way that EM2 marker is not the same EM2 marker you find in South Africa. That EM2 marker is not the same that you find with Ramesses III. It's not the same EM2 marker. So that's what confuses a lot of people, because what's his name was E1B1A. No, it's not the same as the one that mutated in West Africa over 10,000 years ago. The West Africans continued to roam in that region. And that's why most of them have the same markers. They are 95, 98, 99, 9% E1B1A. Some of them even 100%. They don't have no other person outside. But because we are biased and we're trying to develop an identity, we'll say, oh, E1B1A is for the Hebrew Israelites. Now, if you look at a map, for example, hold on a second. Let me just show you this real quickly. EV38. Let me go to EV38. Let me go to EV38 and Google it real quickly. And I'm going to show you a quick map just to show you something about EM2. All right. Now, everybody look. You know what? No, let me do this. EM2. All right.
Oh, yeah, just to add to with Dr. Yehoshua, he also says that the Lemba are not of the J marker. They're from E1B1A as well.
All right. Now, Doctor he's being genuine, but some of them, there's some people in the Lemba that carry the J marker. That's why they associate them. You see, this is the EM2 right here. If anybody could see my screen, this is the EM2, and I want people to understand something when you're watching the screen, right? The EM2 marker, if you look at the greenest part, the 100%, it's right here in West Africa. The further away you go, you don't have that marker, showing you this is where it originated from. It mutated. EM. Let's go to 23andMe real quick. I'm going to show y'all something really with science with the DNA. And we got to be careful, because we got to put our information where our people can understand and make it easy. I'm not trying to be a Hebrew Israelite. I'm not trying to not be a Hebrew Israelite. I just want the truth. And if the truth rock with me, so be it. If it don't agree with me, so be it. I have no foot in the game. All right. But let's look at my ancestry overview for a second. I want to show some folks this real quickly here. Let me stop sharing this and let me go on this. I'm just trying to make a quick point with the EM2.
Yeah, man, you about to make me go get a DNA test found.
Yeah, man. All right. All right, look at this now. This is 23andMe. This is the maternal, and this is the maternal and the paternal. if you look at this right here, my paternal now, it's going to tell you what I am today. I'm EM2, but I'm 6'3.2, which is what most people have. Now, EM96, if we see EM96 on the map, it's 73,000 years ago. So what happened is those people who were EM96 that started off in the east 73,000 years ago, they migrated to this region where is West Africa, right here as you see on the screen. But what happened is it mutated. When it mutated, it became EM180. And after EM180, I mutated to be this person 10,000 years ago. But EM180, as the brother Anonymous Hebrew is, this is his paternal line. You see, what happened is when we try to connect ourselves to the Lemba, I said we got Lemba DNA. What we're doing is we're disregarding our mother and father. Because if we're saying we're Hebrew from bloodline, that would mean you're a Hebrew based on your father and mother. So this is what kills Anonymous Hebrew right now. From 17,000 years ago, you've been carrying in the EM180 marker as your paternal lineage. That means you ain't got nothing to do with the Middle East with your father's line. Nothing at all. Now, does that mean you can't have Lemba DNA? Yeah. If you have autosomal, it actually goes back to 6 generations, maybe 10, which is probably 200 to 300 years, depending on how they count generations based on slavery. One generation to black people was sometimes 25 years or even 30 years. We weren't living longer than that because of the circumstances. So now if it only goes back 6 to 10 generations, but your fatherland goes 17,000 years, why are you talking to us for something that goes back 300 years?
Right.
You're autosomal.
Right. We older than that.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? So this is the flim flam that you're doing with DNA to try to fool us. It's not working. It's not working. I'm on a whole nother level when it comes to this because we have to use logics. These guys, this is the thing. When I said to the guy, come on, show me the source. You got to show me source for what you're saying. I'm showing you this right here that you could read on the screen. Bro, you go back 10,000 years ago to EM26. This is a whole different haplogroup, bro. That means my family, who was EM180, they mutated to the point, this is who I'm from. This is my direct descendant 10,000 years ago. So now you show me EM263.2 in the Middle East. Show me EM180, how much of it is in the Middle East. Our people have been wandering in West Africa, feeding themselves and their family. Bantu expansion don't include every person. We got to stop that. You could have a wave of 30 people, of 40 people. When they had the out of Africa theory, how much people do you think came out of Africa? Probably like 30 or 40. But people talking like in thousands.
Now, see, look, if you go back to that map, right, it looks like it started around the region of Kush.
Hold on a second. Let me scroll up a second. Right. So this is technically not. Yeah, but that's 73,000 years ago, bro.
Yeah, for sure.
That ain't got. There's no Kush at that time. You understand what I'm saying? So for me to argue and say, yo, but Garfield, look, Garfield, some of the E, they went over here and went to the Levant. Okay, but bro, that's like 100,000 years ago. Why are we talking about that? That ain't got nothing to do with us. Because guess what, bro? You know what happened? I'm not EM96 no more. I'm not EM180 no more. Guess what? I adapted to that culture, the region that I live in. And by the way, to anybody that believes in DNA, you know you believe in evolution. Because guess what? This is your DNA. It mutated and adapted to where it is. So it mutated. What happened is, ladies and gentlemen, there's something called SNPs. My brother Ngozi call it SNPs, and I call it SNPs. So if people don't understand what SNPs is, it's SNPS. The SNPs, what happened is when it goes in a sequence too long, it mutates. It mutates. So that's what happened. That's what happened. That's what happened. So when people use the DNA, you got to be careful and watch what you're doing. And this goes out to my brother Bareen. Don't let these people fool you with the DNA and the GED match. Ask them who is their father side. Ask them who their mother side is. because they are Hebrew based on bloodline. So we're not worried about the autosomal. The autosomal is an admixture. That's fine. In between. But if it's in between, ladies and gentlemen, how many generations back does it go based on the testing that you take? If you take Ancestry.com, if you take 23andMe, if you take whatever, how far does your admixture go with the in-between of your DNA? That's not who you are. I am made of 46 chromosomes, 23 from dad, 23 from mom. Now I'm asking y'all out there, don't you come from your mother and father? So if you trace your father's line and your mother's line, where are you from? Oh, we got admixture, man. That admixture is the one that goes all the way back. The stupidity of these people talking makes me sick. Then they're like, oh, I want to debate. Oh, you running. No, I want to save myself from going crazy. That's what I'm doing. Because when you're trying to prove you're a Hebrew or an Israelite, you'll do any damn thing. You'll mix up science. You'll create a damn doctor, Dr. Richard Katz, just to win an argument. It's crazy. It's crazy, family. This is what we do. All right. Now, all right. Let me see if there's any questions in the audience that anybody wants to ask. You know what I'm saying? Aboriginal TV, what up? What up, King? What up? What up? What up? Long time. Yeah. So whenever anyone says this is the importance of DNA, people are like, oh, it's the white man science or whatever. I'm glad Hebrews and Israelite claimants are into DNA, because now you could trace your father's lineage and your mother's lineage. The brother that came on here, Anonymous Hebrew, he said, Garfield, you said I was in West Africa for 17,000 years. And Ngozi, is that right? Bro, if you're EM 180, 17,000 years ago, it says, this is what it says in the report. This is not Garfield talking. This is what science is saying. Your paternal line stems from the EM 180 branch of E, which dominates south of the Sahara. The haplogroup originated about 17,000 years ago in the pockets of West Africa that were habitable at the time. Then much of the continent was extremely dry due to the Ice Age climate conditions. Over 10,000 years later, men bearing haplogroup EM180 migrated throughout sub-Saharan Africa, spurred by the development of agriculture and ironworking in the region. Not culture. The people in West Africa who was doing ironworking, and by the way, that agriculture and ironworking information is out there over 10,000 years ago. That's in West Africa. They're doing ironworking, family. Study that. Before them people in Sumer or Egypt was doing it. We were doing it in West Africa. EM180 is most commonly today among speakers of Bantu languages and those related to them. It reaches levels of up to 90% among the Mandinka and Yoruba of Western Africa, where the migrations began farther from their origin. EM180 reaches frequency of 50% or higher in the Hutu, Sukuma, Herero, and Xhosa. The lineage is also the most common haplogroup. You listen to that. Among African American males, individuals, about 60% of African American men fall into this haplogroup, primarily due to the Atlantic slave trade, which drew individuals from West Africa and Mozambique, where EM180 accounts for the majority of men. Come on, brothers and sisters. There's no doubt who we are. The people who are the people who claim Arabs, the Arab religion, Muslims, Hebrews, Israelite claimants, they're the ones that's trying to confuse you. The science is clear. Clear as day. 60% of us have the EM180. Garfield, you was wrong. You said I couldn't have EM180. Yeah, I made an error.
Well, no, I wouldn't say that, that the brothers are trying to confuse people in particularly. I think it's a willingness to want to believe and be a part of something, because I went through the same thing. I mean, you remember?
Of course.
We was having this conversation years ago, and we was bringing up all kind of tribes in Africa, West Africa, South Africa.
I don't want to go there. We're dealing with the Lemba, and we're dealing with DNA and all that.